Shalom, Yasharallah, giving all praise and glory to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He worthy to be praised for everything, Khan. Yes, so as always, I'm going to start with Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So all that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior, going to the Most High on our behalf, so the Most High can look at whatever we say, whatever we do. That's why we thank Him for everything He's going to do. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. So I want to look at 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. And we were going into it yesterday, and it was, at least I got kind of stuck on verse 11 when it says, "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before." So I got caught up in that through the Spirit of the Most High. It said as before, and so we end up going into the plagues that the Most High brought upon Egypt before, and will destroy all the land thereof. And that's as far as we got, as far as, the lesson I planned on. I went to the plagues that the Most High brought on the Egyptians when we was in captivity as the 12 tribes of Israel in Egypt. So we're going to continue on. And when it says, Egypt shall mourn. Now we identify Egypt as being America. Y'all got a dollar bill? Turn that dollar bill over and look on the back of it. You'll see all kind of Babylonian and Egyptian pyramids and so forth, right? With the all-seeing eye and all that. I mean, America's vibration. I took you to Isaiah the 47th chapter. You see, and we're going to go into it because there's going to be a lot that the Spirit has brought forth to show that certain things that you've been taught by the traditions of men is off. But let's continue. So that Egypt represents captivity, slavery, and bondage, which we're in, whether you want to accept it or not, here in America, that's where we at. So Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. You hear that? That's why the Most High told us, Yasharallah, Israelites, he told us this in Revelations 18 and 4. He said, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people." We define the Most High people in Exodus 3 and 10 as the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. Come out of that mindset, he's saying, that you be not partakers of her sins. So when you look at how you are operating from your mind, your thoughts, to your speech, to your actions, you caught up in the God of this world. The God of this world got you all twisted. And this way is to have you follow him right to hell. And a lot of you call yourself Israelites or not, you still caught up in his world, caught up in how he would have you to be. You go to hell with him. He don't care who is it that love everybody. You gonna tell me the Most High love everybody? You don't say that. I know it says Jacob have I loved, Romans 9:13. Malachi 1:1-3. He say Jacob have I loved. So how y'all think the Most High love everybody? Show me that scripture. I love everybody. I love all nations. Show me that. Where is that in the Bible? If thou canst. So here we are, brought up in the system that you will see is from the start was wicked, evil, and here you are born and raised up in this system that's wicked and evil, and you allow wickedness and evil to think that this is the right way, when it's contrary to righteousness. That's why he said, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying," this is the Most High telling you, "Come out of her, my people. Come out of the thinking that you be not partakers of her sins," right? Sin is a transgression of the Most High's laws. "And that you receive not of her" what? Plagues. It ain't plural. It ain't singular, it's plural. It's plural. Receive of her plagues. Y'all think plagues, you see a plague now, Most High said plagues is coming upon this place. You ready for that? We're going to see if you're going to be able to endure what's getting ready to go down. Because you know what's written in this Bible. You just study to show yourself approved of the Most High. You know what he said in this Bible. You see? Or you going to trust in the shadow of Pharaoh, as it says in Isaiah the 30th chapter. We went over this. You're going to make flesh your arm. You're going to believe in somebody more than the Most High. You're going to trust in a person more than the Most High. Your Moses was Pharaoh's daughter's son. Stepson, really, but because he was Israelite, but she got him out of the water and raised him up in Egyptian as we were in slavery. But Moses was right under the Pharaoh. Like Joseph was right under the Pharaoh. But look what he did. He was 11 and 23. But by faith, believing in the Most High, totally, sincerely. Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. It was killing all the babies 2 years old and under. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. You see that? When he came of years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He wanted all this prestige and high escalation and all exaltation. All they had to do is, hey, remain in Egypt. He was right under the king, the Pharaoh, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High, who he was, of the tribe of Levi. He chose to choose affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Like everybody sinning, doing the things they're doing. You tell them to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and they sinning. Oh, we got this money for you. So they all in sin. Behind closed doors. They got money, but they dealing with sins. They're not dealing with the laws of the Most High. That's why they can't come back. If they were supposed to come back, they got to continue in sin. This world is set up to send you to hell in sin. That's why he said that ye be not partakers of her sins. So if you ain't looking at what's sinful and you don't realize what's sinful and you rolling in sin, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to get what? And that you receive not of her plagues. You're going to be plagued. You're going to see plagues came upon us and came upon others. Choosing rather to suffer affliction, Moses, with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Esteeming the reproach of Mashiach. You hear that? Esteeming the reproach and disgrace of a Mashiach. Greater riches than the treasures of Egypt, in Egypt. Now, where was the Mashiach of Shai? It said, just talk about Moses. It said, esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach, who y'all call Jesus. Greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. Was your Jesus in Egypt? Huh? We talk about Moses now. Esteeming the reproach of a Mashiach. Reproach me the disgrace of a Mashiach. Greater riches than the treasures in Egypt. Now, are you willing to esteem the reproach of a Mashiach this day than the treasures of this world, what it offers you? For he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. Knowing what's going to happen. By faith, he forsook Egypt. Like we got to forsake America. And the sins that she's doing, that we don't receive of these plagues that the Most High just said. By faith, he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king. For he endured as seeing him who is invisible. He endured as seeing him who is invisible, the Most High, the invisible power. Power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. So he told us, don't be partaker of her sins, that you don't receive of her plagues. plural. Y'all think y'all saying something now, but what the Most High say he gonna do? Plus, we went over. He said, hey, he gonna do America just like Egypt. This is where we in captivity, predominantly. Hey, so we say he gonna do America just like Egypt. That's why I went to Spirit had me go over them plagues that he brought upon them till he killed the firstborn. Did I show you what he gonna do to them too? Same thing, no different. 2 Ezra 15 to 14. Excuse me, verse 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful consolation. So you see the Most High brought that hail on the Egyptians. Same thing you gonna do here. Famine. If your farmer is gonna be mourning, the people that's planting the food and bringing forth the meats and so forth, gonna be mourning because of famine. And the Most High destroying everything. I mean, remember they had to take the cattle and they bring them in the houses. And the crops, everything is destroyed. The trees splitting in half and so forth. What you think the crops will happen to them? And say, woe, destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. That don't sound like a lot of love to me. He said, for the sword, which is modern day guns, and their destruction draweth nigh, drawing near. And one people shall stand up to fight against another. One people gonna stand up to fight against another. And swords in their hands. They gonna have guns. Right now, you see the rioting that they're doing all over in Europe and so forth. You know? But they're gonna stand up and have guns in their hands. Don't think it ain't coming to America. It's coming to America. That movie Coming to America? Oh yeah, it's coming to America. It's gonna be like that. Just what we're reading is coming here. Believe this. Are you ready for this? Spiritually. You see, I went over, we in a spiritual warfare. Are you ready for this spiritually? So that you can be protected during these times that you read. Hopefully, you reading it. Say, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, drawing near, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. Racial wars, y'all. And swords in their hands. You know, everybody's strapped here in America. Swords in their hands. Where there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They're going to be sedition among men. They're going to be invading one another, meaning they coming into people's houses. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. You see how they stormed the Capitol? They're not going to regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, in their own power. Only there's a difference when everybody's strapped, everybody got guns. That's a difference. They shooting, you shooting back. That's a different scenario. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You ain't gonna be able to go from city to city. That's martial law. For because of their pride, see that pride, and that's something that's really heavy when you look at, you call yourself an Israelite, but you still got this pride of the people that's in charge. That's the most prideful of all nations, and that's what we under. So therefore, and you can't deny this. Go to scripture. Let's prove it. Psalms 83rd chapter. Psalms 83. Keep not silent, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies and make a turmoil, and they that hate thee, the enemies of the Most High and the Mashiach and the ones that hate the Most High and the Mashiach have lifted up the head. What do you think lift up the head mean? They all that. I'm all this. No. Because humility, you got your head down. You hold your head down. Now they lifting up the head in pride. So what's the first one that they name? The tabernacle, verse 6, the tabernacle of Edom. Come on. Tabernacle of Edom, so-called white man. There it is. So, and that's why these things are going down. What do you say? It says, verse 18 of 2 Ezra 15th chapter, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So what you think your women gonna be during this time? And a lot of y'all rolling with men that's not in the truth. What you think they gonna be doing? They're gonna be afraid right with y'all. Because they ain't have no power with the Most High. The only way we're gonna get out of this is the Most High, period. Like He's always brought us out. Try some other way, if you will. See where you end up. But you say men gonna be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. They're going to be coming in with guns and taking everything you have and robbing you of everything you have because of the lack of bread, because of the lack of food, famine. When y'all go to stores, it's not as bad here, but a lot of places, you know, they're showing me that the stores, the shelves are mainly empty, like never before, because of lack of food, lack of bread. A loaf of bread costs what? They don't have no bread. Because of lack of bread, that's food. And for great tribulation, great hell up in these streets, as he just said. He said, behold, said the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun and from the south and from the east and Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another. Most I say, I'm going to make it so that they're going to reverence me and I'm going to make them turn against each other and repay the things that they have done to them. They're going to turn against each other and they're going to repay the things that they've done to them, who is the 12 tribes of Israel. Like as they do yet this day. You hear that? As they do yet this day unto my chosen. Who the chosen? Who the Most High's chosen people? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Who the Most High's chosen people? Deuteronomy 1 and 1 said, these be the words that Moses spake to all Israel on this side of Jordan. So Deuteronomy 7 and 6 is talking to the Israelites, the whole book of Deuteronomy, as we in the wilderness. What did he say? Deuteronomy 7 and 6. But thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Most High thy power have chosen thee, chosen you, the 12 tribes of Israel, to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Let me just get it for you so you don't think I'm just talking out the side of my neck when I say that it's talking to the Israelites. Deuteronomy 1 and 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan, right? In the wilderness, as I quoted. So that's talking to us. So we the chosen. That's why he say, what he say to about his chosen, 12 tribes of Israel. 2nd Ezra 15, verse 21, like as they do yet this day. Most I watching you and watching them unto my chosen, unto the 12 tribes of Israel, so will I do also. You hear what he say? That's payback. He say, so will he do also. And recompense pay them back in their bosom. Thus said the Most High power. Listen what he's saying. My right hand, who's on the right hand of the Most High? Mashiach Yahushua. Shall not spare the sinners. Y'all talk about the Most High hate the sin, but he love the sinners. The Mashiach Yahushua, who's the right hand of the Most High, shall not spare the sinners. And my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. You hear that? That's payback, which is known. It's just a matter of we as a people, we sheep, lost sheep. We like sheep led to the slaughter. The fire has gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth and the sinners. He ain't letting you get away with nothing. He gonna kill sinners, put them to death. Those that break the laws of the Most High. Sinners are transgressors of the law. All you Christians out there that go to, in all these different religions, go to 1 John, the 3rd chapter, the 4th verse. Defines what a sin is. Okay? 1 John 3 and 4. Maybe I need to go there. Y'all don't like to read, so I better go there myself. So I keep forgetting y'all don't like to read. They got you programmed. Oh man, this is almost like school. I don't want to deal with that. Why I gotta go read? Well, 1 John 3 and 4 says, whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. And they the Most High's laws that he wrote with his finger. Even the nations know this. But we don't know it because we've been destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why? Because we forgot the law. That's why you destroyed. Going back to my brother Ezra, in 2 15 and 22, he said, my right hand, Mashiach Shai, is he coming his angelic power, hanging out with Michael, the archangel of war, shall not spare the sinners. And my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. Now, come on now, let me show you something. Go to Revelation 19:11. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, John is seeing a vision. And behold, a white horse, pure righteous power, and he that sat upon it was called faithful and true. This is Mashiach Yahushua and his angelic power. And in righteousness, we know what righteousness is, keeping of the Most High's laws. He does judge and make war. You hear that? He comes back to judge and make war. That's the Most High's right hand. He's on the right hand side. He gonna say, "Come, Mashiach Yahushua," and when he tell him to rise and go judge and make war, it's in the Most High's hand. He told us that. Only the Most High know when he gonna tell him to do this. But he gonna tell him to do this. Now look, verse 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword. Hear that? Remember we check on Ezra prophesying about this sword? So here it is right here. Out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with this sharp sword, he shall smite or kill the nations. And we're a nation ourselves. We're 12 nations that make up one nation. Yasharallah, 12 tribes of Israel. He gonna smite you too. You sinners. You gonna get all these other nations that are sinners. He gonna kill them too. But he gonna leave a remnant. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That rod of iron is the law of the Most High. And he treadeth the winepress of fierceness and wrath of almighty power. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Power of Powers. See, a Mashiach Yahushua. So he coming to judge and make war. And he coming to kill, smite the nations, as it is written. He gonna rule them by the law of the Most High. So if you ain't learning the law of the Most High, what do you think? You gonna say it's null and void and he coming back to kill you because you ain't doing what he say do? That's his rules and regulations. You got a choice now. After death, ain't no nothing but the judgment. It's too late then. That's why you got a chance right now. All praise to the Most High. One day closer to the kingdom that we living in now. He's giving us opportunity to get it together. 2 Ezra 15. This is what he said. When he come, he said he's going to sit his right hand, right? Verse 23. The fire is gone forth from his wrath. That sword that we read about in Revelation 19:15. That sword is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth. And the sinners, you know, and those that break the laws of the Most High, like the straw that is kindled. Like he comparing you to straw. How easily is fire going to go into straw and consume it? That's what he's comparing you to. Woe, mean destruction to them that sin. Destruction to all you that sin. And keep not my commandments, said the Most High. He screaming at you. But can you hear? He's screaming at you. He said, for all you Christians out there to say you ain't under the law, the Most High said this. Woe to them that sin. Mean destruction. Woe mean destruction to you that sin. That we just read the definition of sin in 1 John 3 and 4. The transgression of the Most High's law. And keep not my commandments, said the Most High. Mean destruction to you. He gonna kill you. Don't let nobody tell you any different. You hear it, you can read it for yourself. Listen to what he said. I will not spare them. Ain't gonna be no mercy and grace then. You were talking about grace. Ain't gonna be no grace this time. When you have the opportunity to come back to him. I will not spare them. He said, I'm not gonna spare you. But he already said what he's gonna do. You're gonna be a straw in the fire. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Most High knoweth all them that sin against him. Hear what he said? And the Most High knoweth all them that sin against him. You think the Most High don't see you? Or you don't see me, people. You think the Most High don't see you? Say the Most High know all them that sin against him. And thereafter delivereth he them unto death and destruction. You hear that? They reading that to you in the church. Anybody reading this to you? What's this death and destruction? How about the lake of fire? This is what he said. For the Most High knoweth all them. He know all you that sin against him. You're going to see concerning people that have done heinous things, the judgment. And they think by the time they leave up out of here, they're going to do whatever y'all say they could do. Just confess your sins. You're going to be all right. You're going to heaven. We're going to find out if that's true or not. If you stick around to here. For the Most High knoweth all them that sin against him. And therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. You hear that? So people are being plagued, and people are looking at this a plague to come upon them. Why has it come upon them? He said you will remain in them. So once these plagues come upon you, you going to remain in them. You can't call on them, no, then he's the one that put them on you. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the Most High shall not deliver you. Come on, that's why people dying, man. Left and right. Because ye have sinned against him. That's very important. I don't know how important you think it is. That's very important. Because these plagues are upon us right now. One after the other, from the Most High. But see, y'all look at man, but the Most High say he gonna do it, and his ways and thoughts are not our ways and thoughts, and he's bringing a point. He bringing them to the point of reality. You can't see this? He already plagued people. People are looking at, oh, that's them. You know what he said? You ain't gonna be able to come out of them. Jump down to verse 34. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. You hear this? It's from the sky, y'all. Full of wrath and storm. Destruction. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth. Talking about people that's of status. Even their own star. Kill their own people. Their own one they lifted up. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. From the sword unto the belly. And dung, that's feces of men upon the camel's brow. You know, camel is tall. That's going to be a lot of people dying. A whole lot of people dying. And y'all wondering what's going to happen. Or what it is that maybe it might not. It's going to happen. He said, dung, that's people that done died. You know, they had their last bowel movement and they ain't going to be buried. It said, dung going to be how high? To the camel's brow. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid. They that see this wrath, see all these feces, all this dung. What do you think the dung gonna come from? Dead bodies. Billions. trembling shall come upon them. Look what it say, and there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. So I say men gonna be afraid. And then shall there come great storms from the south and from the north, and another part from the west. How you gonna fight this? How you gonna stop this? What's your method of protecting yourself from this wrath, if thou can say? And strong winds, that's like tornadoes, hurricanes. Strong winds shall arise from the east. It shall open it. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, in destruction, to kill people, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind, shall be destroyed. The great and mighty clouds shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid. Make all the earth afraid. Everybody that live on this earth afraid. Y'all ready for this though, right? Because no weapon formed against you can prosper, right? So you ready for all this, right? And they keeping no laws like you should be. Saying in the middle, we ain't under no law. We ain't under the law. We in mercy and grace. We under grace. Y'all like to say that. This is what he said. The great and mighty cloud shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place an horrible star. You know what that star is? Chariot. Chariot. Like that star that led the wise men to a Mashiach that was shy when he was, he was like 2 years old when they found him. But when they found him in the house, not no manger or none of that you thinking. But that chariot, the chariots of the Most High. Like we used to sing the song, swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. That star is a chariot. Because the stars don't move. But they're known as, stars. Pertaining to what they call UFOs, unidentified flying objects. We call them IFOs, identified flying objects. We know they are the chariots of the Most High. The great and mighty clouds shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, or the chariot of the Most High, that they may make all the earth afraid. Oh, yeah. And they know this. That's why they got Independence Day and all them different movies that came out after they used to come out to the beach and ask us, talk about the chariots. Producer all the time came out there, talk about the chariots. Long before Independence Day came out, any of those movies came out like that. And them that dwell therein, and they shall pour out over every high and eminent place an horrible star, horrible chariot, fire coming from this chariot, and hail, and flying swords, and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. You ready for this? How you gonna fight this? And they shall break down the cities and walls, but not your city, right? Not your walls, right? And they shall break down the cities and walls, but not yours, right? These plagues, you're looking at plagues, this is it. Beyond what you can imagine. Mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their corn. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon, and make her afraid. That Babylon, come on. Iraq, come on. You talking about America. That Babylon, daughter of Babylon, America. And make her afraid. They shall come to her and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. Like I said, the merchants going to be crying. They're going to be crying when they see the fall of America. It tells you that. They're going to stand afar off. They ain't going to be around them, though. Bet you they ain't coming near. Look. Go back to Revelation 18. Verse 15. Brothers 18 to 50. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, by America, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. That's what they're going to be saying. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. 1 hour is so great riches come to nothing. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and all as many as trade by sea stood afar off. Stood afar off. Like I said, they ain't coming near. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. Remember saying gonna be nothing but dust and smoke. When they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all they that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Because it's already prophesied that we're reading about right here in the Old Testament, that the Protestants took out because it's so straightforward. I love it. Going back to 2 Ezra 15, verse 44, they shall come to her and besiege her, the star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Talking about America. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven 1 hour, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. You see? They're going to be crying, seeing America burning. Ain't nobody buying their merchandise no more. That's why Most High said, go to Isaiah 47 chapter. You wonder why? It says, verse 10 says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Why these plagues coming? Thou hast said, none seeth me. Don't nobody see me. That you don't see me spirit. And a lot of you Israelites that call yourself Israelites, you got that you don't see me spirit too. I've seen it throughout these 30 years, longer than that, really. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. That's what you said. That's what that said. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises. We just read about it. And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee. We read about it suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Say, stand now. Almost like going to tell them. He say, stand now with thine enchantments. You say, just like Egypt. What did the musicians bring forth? Enchantments. Same spirit. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, witches and so forth, wherein psychics and palm readers and all the ones that y'all dealing with, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, because all the gods of the nations are idols. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, that they may be able to help you. If so be thou mayest prevail against the judgment that the Most High bringing upon all people that are sinners. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and say thee from these things that shall come upon thee, if thou canst. Behold, they shall be as stubble. We already said, You already said what they're going to be like. You know? They shall be as stubble. That's like tumbleweeds. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit it before it. Thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants. Hear that? From thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. Gonna go back home. None shall save thee. They're gonna be away from you. They're gonna make sure they're away from you. They ain't gonna have nothing to do with you when this go down, as it is written. Prepare yourself. That's why you better come back to this truth and stop acting like you don't hear what it is that's being said. You got an opportunity. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16. 16th chapter. And let's start at verse 17. Like I said, the Apocrypha, I love it because it's pretty self-explanatory. 2 Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, Ezra said. He getting all these prophecies. He said, woe is me, destruction is me. Woe is me, he said. Who will deliver me in those days? He said, who going to deliver him in the days that we read about? That he's prophesied, most I giving these prophecies of what's going to happen in these last days. Destruction is me. Destruction is me. Who will deliver him in these days? So that means that Ezra, in his mind, is thinking what? I got to be delivered like we got to be delivered in these days. But he didn't get it. That's why I say this is written for us. Because the Most High told him through the angel. Y'all should know the angel he was dealing with too, by now, because we always deal with angels speaking with us. But let's go to 2 Ezra 14, and let's look at verse 9. Because Ezra's saying that, right? This is after the fact, when he was told this. Why, we can go back and review what was told to him, and see that, okay, he didn't get it, just like the apostles. They was like, hey, we know we had to go through Deuteronomy 28th chapter, them curses, because the Most High only gave us, 12 verses, that's blessings. He gave us from 15 all the way to 68, them curses. We hadn't been through all of that. But the apostles still asked him after he had died, rose on the third day, walked the earth for 40 days, are you going to restore the kingdom again to Israel? You see, so we are very, very blessed to be able to have the whole books, all the volume of the books, to be able to go back and look at it and get understand through the precepts that they didn't have. David didn't have Revelations, the books, and all the New Testament, all that. He didn't have all that. All he had was compared to when he was on the earth to going back to the beginning, in the beginning. That's it, you see? So, and he still got enough understanding that we could use the understanding he had, because everything was stripped from us in this day, to come back to this knowledge of understanding. But you gotta study to show yourself approved to the Most High. But look what Ezra was told in 2 Ezra 14 and 9. For thou shalt be taken away from all. That means you're going to die, Ezra. And from henceforth, from here on in, thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee, until the times be ended. See that? Until the time be ended, to the end of the world. You see? That's powerful. So, tell him he didn't have to come back here. Like Daniel. Daniel had to come back to this wicked place. Look at the last verse of Daniel. Daniel 12. Come back here. Shoot. You look at the names of the angels that came back and said, most I call this angel, he don't name Ezra and Daniel. See, but go thy way. This is verse 13, Daniel 12 and 13. But go thy way, talking to Daniel, till the end be. See? Till the end of this world be. But thou shalt rest and stand in thy lot at the end of the days. See? So, everybody has to come back to hell. This condition called hell. But here we are in this condition and not even taking the time to realize the importance of what it is that was given us. Very important to see this. So now we're going to go back to 2 Ezra 16. And we started at verse 17, which is, woe is me. That Ezra said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Those days, meaning the future, right? This is reincarnation, regeneration. Well, all you Sadducee spirits out there that don't believe in regeneration, how can he be back in the days when he told he was going to rest and be with Mashiach Yahushua, to the end of time? This day, these days that we in now, not the end of time, but the days that we in now, end of this world, I can tell you in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. It says, the beginning of the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, food shortages, and great death. I seen more death last year than ever in my life. And it haven't stopped. Great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. You hear that? The powers going to stand in fear. Those that are in charge, they're going to stand in fear. Afraid. The beginning of evils. You hear that? The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So what shall I do when these evils shall come? So he still put himself there. When he told him, hey, he going to be chilling with a Mashiach Yahushua when the end comes. But you hear what he said? What shall I do when these evils shall come? This is in the future. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendments to get that's a righteous butt whooping. For you to get it right. And a lot of people gonna go through these things, they're going through it, they see people going through it, but it's like, oh, it can't happen to me. Then when it happens to you, want you to feel sorry, but you ain't trying to do the things righteously so that it won't come to you. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. Hear that? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. The Most High showing you. Most High have people almost dying. People have died. You don't see people die. I have. A lot of people have died, and here it is. People are dealing with what they're dealing with and not realizing that you next. Or you could be next. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendments. To get it right, y'all. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. Hear that? They're going to still be doing the same thing because they don't fear the Most High. And when the Most High get your butt, nor be always mindful of the scourges. That's the thing. I always say, okay, everybody all up in arms about this, that, the third, whatever. You feel sorry for this person, that person, or yourself, whatever. And after you get well, you go right back to your wickedness. You ain't remember the time that somebody was suffering, somebody almost died, somebody did die, or here it is with you. Now you looking at, especially us that really dealing in this truth, we have no excuse. That's why I say you're going to beat us with more stripes. These scourges are going to come upon us with more than those that don't know. But you see, those that don't know, it's happening to them, thinking it can happen to you. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of living power, especially when he's working to laboring to make us perfect. He laboring to make us perfect. If you are listening and are really in this truth sincerely, then you're going to be beat with more stripes than those that are not. Ain't that something? It's written. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. I can catch you, you're going to come like a thief in the night. He say he's going to think everything get cheap, and And you think you're in good shape. We in good shape. Now, everything go, like people say, everything gonna go back to normal. And even then shall evils grow upon earth. Evils ain't stopping. Y'all gotta understand this. No matter how you look at it, he say evil's gonna be growing on the earth. Evils ain't stopping. Sword, people gonna still be killing people with the guns, famine, food shortages, and great confusion. Because you in the land of Babel. Confusion. Babylon, the great. Listen, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish, shall die of famine, of food shortage. And the other people that escape the hunger, that escape the food shortage, the famine, shall the sword destroy. You hear that? Shall the sword destroy. You're going to be died by somebody going to kill him. Mind the sword's gun. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. Going to be so many people dying, they're going to be cast out on the ground as doo-doo. That's what dung means. Like when you go to the bathroom, they're going to be so many people dying, they're going to be cast out as dung. And there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. There shall be no man left to till the earth. There's not going to be anyone left to plant crops, or to sow it, or to harvest it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? Trees going to be still giving fruit, but who going to gather the fruit? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. Like the movie with Denzel Washington, Book of Eli, and Legend with Will Smith. Nobody, you don't see nobody hardly. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. As in the orchard of olives, they're going to be hiding in the clefts of the rock. Mashak Shai said, hey, you know that too. There's going to come a time that you're going to fulfill this